A lady walks on a rocky beach on a cloudy day. The ground is muddy and the waves are crashing, creating a feeling for a movie that's all about the everyday tasks we do. The lady trips as she examines different rocks on the beach, and it turns out that she's Mary Anning, played by Kate Winslet, a famous fossil hunter looking for ancient life signs on the shore. She lives a quiet life with her mother Molly, played by Gemma Jones. Her life seems repetitive and quiet as she hunts for rocks to find fossils and rarely talks. In the movie Ammonite, the writer and the filmmaker Francis Lee trusts Kate Winslet to show a lot of emotions without using many words. This trust leads to one of the Kate Winslet's best performances in her career. Everything changes in Mary's life when a man named Roderick Murchison, played by James Carroll, visits her shop. He's also a paleontologist and seems to genuinely admire Mary's work, even though he doesn't fully understand her frustration about not getting enough recognition because of her gender. Roderick has a wife named Charlotte, played by Saoirse Ronan, and he treats her less kindly than Mary handles her fossils. There is a scene showing a bug wrapped in a jar which visually compares to the Charlotte situation. She is controlled by her husband, who tells others that she has melancholia, and in an early dinner scene with the Murchisons, Roderick orders a fancy meal for himself but asks waiter to bring his wife a plain white fish baked without any sauce. This sets the tone for their relationship dynamic. As Roderick tries to learn from Mary, his wife Charlotte becomes unwell. Roderick thinks that the best thing for Charlotte's health is to get some fresh sea air, so he decides to leave her in a small seaside town. He hopes that being there will improve her health, and he asks Mary to take care of her. He even suggests that Charlotte could join Mary on fossil expeditions, and thankfully the movie doesn't focus much on the difference between the city and country life after their first day by the water. Charlotte starts to adapt to life with Mary and even helps her with the work. There is a scene where Charlotte assists carrying a large rock that Mary couldn't manage alone. This moment highlights the theme of the movie, which is about the importance of connection and how some things in life require more than just two hands and they need both. Mary and Charlotte grow closer over time and their relationship becomes more intimate. Despite their differences in background and interest, they discover strong chemistry between them. This connection affects them both emotionally and physically. Having a great partner can help us know things about ourselves, and Ammonite portrays this aspect of human relationships without exaggerating it. The filmmaker Lee handles the physical aspects of their relationship with sensitivity and without being exploitative or manipulative. Some parts of the movie may seem understated, but this matches the personality of the main character and prevents the love story becoming overly dramatic as it easily could have. The film includes passionate lovemaking scenes that contrast with the monotony of the rest of the story. These scenes feel like people who were drowning suddenly finding air, or someone in darkness seeing bright light for the first time. This sharp contrast intensifies the passion between Mary and Charlotte. This whole thing wouldn't work without two outstanding actors to make it happen. Saoirse Ronan does a very good job in her role. She's always at least very good in whatever she does, but the real star of the movie is Kate Winslet. She shows us how amazing she can be when given the right material. She avoids all the mistakes her character could have made. She doesn't exaggerate the recursive parts of her character early in the movie, and instead she conveys a lot through her body language rather than words. The way her body reacts when Charlotte touches her for the first time as their relationship becomes more physical is truly impressive. There's a lot of grace and subtlety in her performance, and you could ready to understand all the smart choices Winslet makes in every scene. She doesn't have many lines to say and there's no narration, but still she manages to show a lot of inner conflict. It never feels forced to fake. Saoirse Ronan also gives a strong performance, especially in the second half of the movie. Her character changes because of this relationship, but she responds to that change in her own way. The final scene might frustrate some people, but it will also lead to some interesting discussions and writing. Speaking of that, Mary Anning was a real fossil hunter who made important discoveries, but there is no proof that she had a relationship like the one with Charlotte. Some of the Anning's descendants have raised concerns about using a real person for a story like this. However, we should consider whether people would object to the fictional romantic relationship being portrayed if it were a heterosexual one, and only the most strict historians might object. In Ammonite, Francis Lee is aiming for something deeper than just a biographical or historical account. It's a story about connection, something all of us desire even when it seems impossible to find. Even people like Anning, who were quite isolated, can suddenly find themselves in life-changing relationships. We can all be forever changed by someone we meet unexpectedly, like discovering a fossil while searching through rocks on the shore and finding something we have never seen before.